Hi, it's Dana. In this video, I want to show you my 5 favorite AI tools that I use all the time for my personal life and work. And by the end, you might be inspired to try one of these tools yourself. Okay, here we go. First up, ChatGPT. ChatGPT is my #1 ultimate favorite AI tool, and the reason is because it's an absolute workhorse what it can do. It can do more than any of the other AI tools that I use. So this is my fave. And lately I've been loving ChatGPT for 2 features called memory and custom instructions, because those features allow ChatGPT to tailor its responses to me personally. Because if you don't use custom instructions or memory, ChatGPT's responses sound, well, robotic and rather vanilla. And I'll show you the 2 features. This is the settings. I'll show you memory and custom instructions. So I'll go to Customize ChatGPT. And custom instructions, what would you like ChatGPT to know about you to provide better responses? I let it know I was a solopreneur, because that way it wouldn't suggest ideas that a whole team would be able to do, unlike me working by myself. And I also let it know I run a YouTube channel and my personal style is friendly and approachable. So ChatGPT knows something about me to provide better responses. Cancel. So that's custom instructions. Let me show you memory too. Settings, personalization, memory. So what memory is ChatGPT remembers details about me throughout all the conversations I've had. And I'll just go show you some of the memories it has of me. Yeah, it knows I'm starting a YouTube channel. Let me go down to the bottom and see. These are all the memories it's had across me. Okay, I'll just choose one at random. Dana is considering tweaking their ChatGPT for Beginners course for specific organizations, offering custom applications of ChatGPT tailored to the organization's need. Yeah, I was thinking about that one time. So just that small memory can help ChatGPT tailor its responses to me. So that's memory. I showed you custom instructions. We'll X out of those. I also like ChatGPT for its ability to upload all sorts of files, and I'll show you one thing I like it for. I recently went to an AI conference in Seattle, and I sat up in the front row so I could take pictures of the screens that the keynote presenter was showing. And instead of taking notes during the conference, I took images, because this is what ChatGPT can do with images. And I'm just going to drag the image from my desktop over to the chat. Okay, so it uploaded the images, and then I asked Chat, please extract the text and organize the information. And I could have looked at the slide and taken notes myself and done it, but that takes forever. So the ChatGPT vision allows this to happen presto changeo. So check this out. There's the slide full of all sorts of dense information. So it's analyzing it, and then pretty soon it's going to spit out all this information and organize it for us. I think that's an amazing feature. Okay, here it goes. Thank you. Well, thanks. It's incomplete and fragmented. Thank you for cleaning it up. Generative AI and the future of work in America, key facts. So it extracted the text, organized them for me, and voila, I did not have to do it myself. What a time saver that is. So like memory, I've been liking custom instructions. I use this vision feature all the time. And let's see, what else do I love about ChatGPT? It offers different models for people to use. Oh, and these are grayed out because I uploaded an image. Let me click out. Let me start a new chat and I'll show you. There. It allows different AI models to use. The Canvas feature, I haven't been playing with that too much, but it's kind of like Microsoft Word built into ChatGPT. Maybe I'll do a video on it later. So that's a cool tool. I use ChatGPT 4.0 for most of my tasks because it's the workhorse. Preview is advanced reasoning. I use that for special occasions. And they've limited the use of advanced reasoning because it takes so much horsepower on ChatGPT's part. So I like the fact that I can use different models, upload images, custom instructions, and memory. Those are just some of the reasons I use ChatGPT. I also think it's like the most intelligent model on the market. So that's my fave. Another one, oh, I'll tell you why I don't like it, because this is why I paid for the next LLM. One thing ChatGPT can't do, and it drives me nuts, there's no way to organize all the conversations I have about a certain topic into a folder. So let's say I went to the AI conference, and maybe I wanted to upload all the people I met, my key takeaways, the LinkedIn posts I wrote about it, but there's not a way to do that. So to find conversations about the AI conference, I'd have to scroll through, and it's just a pain. So I don't know. I think ChatGPT, if you're listening, please create a folder structure. Thank you. So since it doesn't have that, the next LLM I love is Claude. And one of the reasons I like Claude is because it has this project feature. So I could create a new project, upload all sorts of documents into that project, and then just have conversations about that project. So that's what Claude is great for that ChatGPT doesn't have. And these are some of the projects I've created. Another reason I like Claude is because I like the fact that its company, Anthropic, that's who made Claude, is all about ethical AI, and I appreciate that. Another reason I really like Claude is because its answers out of the box without a lot of priming, like I did with ChatGPT, sound more human. So if you have the free version of Claude, its answers are just going to sound more human, even if it doesn't know much about you. So that's what I really like about it. I also like Claude, the fact that it has something called a large context window. A context window means what an AI can keep in its short-term memory. That means all the conversations that you've inputted into it and its output. All of that information is called the context window. So I can have a super long conversation with Claude without it forgetting what I said earlier in the conversation. ChatGPT doesn't have as long a context window as Claude has, so that's another reason I like Claude. One reason I don't like Claude, a couple of reasons I don't like Claude, is that it's not connected to the internet. And why is that important? Because Claude's training data stopped a few months ago. That means it only really knows up until what it was trained on. If I asked it about current events today, it wouldn't know because it doesn't have access to the internet. So that's a downside of Claude. Claude also doesn't create images, and I don't use ChatGPT for that very often, but the fact that it can't create images is another downside of Claude. But otherwise, I really like Claude and ChatGPT, and honestly, I keep both tabs open a lot, and I might put the same prompt into Chat and Claude and compare them just to see which AI's answer I like best. Okay, so those are my two favorite large language models that I use. This is not a large language model, but this is an AI tool I use, and it's called Perplexity. Perplexity is connected to the internet, and it's kind of like a cross between a Google and a ChatGPT, in that it's good for searches. It can give you AI answers, and what Perplexity is great at, it gives you sources of its information. And I found out that YouTube was rolling out an automatic dubbing feature, and I knew I couldn't ask Claude because Claude's not connected to the internet, so it wouldn't know something this new. But I knew I could ask Perplexity. And Perplexity gave me places I could look into further, and it suggested a couple YouTube channels I could watch to find out more about this. So cool. So if you want to learn something that's maybe has just come out, whatever you want to learn, Perplexity is a great tool to research and then give you sources. So that's why I like Perplexity. I also use Ideogram. I'll just go to home for a second. Ideogram is my favorite image generation content tool, and I like it for this reason. When I'm creating LinkedIn posts, I often want to have some words written on a laptop. Most image generators can't get the words spelled right, but Ideogram can. And I also like the fact that Ideogram gives you 4 different choices to choose from. So I'll show you one that I was working on recently. Go to Creations. And I wanted to show a woman sitting in front of a laptop with the words, "Hello, YouTube subscribers" on it. So it gave me 4 different images, and it says, "Hello, YouTube subscribers." Here's another one. "Hello, YouTube subscribers." I don't really like her very much. This one, "Hello, YouTube subscribers." And this one, "Yes, hello, YouTube subscribers." So I could choose 4. And I put the same prompt into ChatGPT, and I'll show you what it came up with. So let me go back to chat for a sec. Okay, so I put in the same prompt and asked it to do the same thing. So it gave me one image. She kind of looks like an AI generated image, not so great. And it doesn't say "Hello, YouTube subscribers." So that's why I use Ideogram instead of chat for that. So Ideogram's another great tool. My other favorite one I've really been liking is called Notebook LM. And this is a free tool. It's put out by Google. And what Notebook LM can do is organize information into folders. That's why I like Claude. But Notebook LM takes things one step further. For one, you can upload so much information into your project folder for Notebook LM. I think it's the equivalent of like 25 million words. Tons of words. But here's why I've been using Notebook LM, and I haven't delved into it as much as I want, but this is the one feature I really like it for. Oh, I'll show you. Okay, for this project, there was a UNESCO article I wanted to read. It was 58 pages long. I didn't want to read 58 pages, but I wanted a summary of it, and I like podcasts, so I wanted to listen to a summary of this 58-page document. So I'll show you what I did. Okay, move my head. I dumped the UNESCO study into a notebook, and then its audio overview feature creates an instant, well, not instant, it takes a few minutes, but it creates an AI generated podcast of the information you dump into it. So let me load it. And it might take a few minutes to load. And while it's loading, I'll show you some other features of Notebook LM that are cool. Okay, I'll play it in a sec. From this one study guide, you can create frequently asked questions, a study guide, table of contents, a timeline, or a briefing doc. And I'm going to do a whole video on Notebook LM because it's so cool. But here's the podcast it created all by itself just by clicking a button on this 58-page document. I'll play a few minutes of it.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're diving into something really important, the intersection of women and AI. And I know you don't want to have to read through a whole 53 codes UNESCO study to get the highlights.
Right.
So we're going to help you out with that.
Yeah, we're going to break it down and offer up some solutions too.
So one of the biggest things that jumped out at me.
So great. In less than 17 minutes, I could gather all sorts of information from a 58-page PDF. Cool, right? Okay, so those are all the tools that I use: ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Ideogram, and Notebook LM. So perhaps there's a tool that you would like to use and play with. They are super fun to use, and I wish you the best of luck. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. And remember, if you like this video, hit subscribe. It helps me and it helps more people find the channel. Okay, bye.